WeBull, are you nuts?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. About to get this thing popping in here tonight. Getting my notes set up. Give me a second. Hey. Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and today we're talking about the best time to refi your mortgage. This is probably one of the most profitable things that you can do and reduce costs for your home mortgage if you do it at the right time, at the right percentage. I know a lot of times people refi just to refi. Some people are refining to take money outside of their home, to take the equity outside of their home, to do various things with it. Some people are refining because they're in financial difficulties. But we're talking about the best time to refi, not the reasons why you refi, but the best time that you should refi, okay? We know that the best time that you should refi is when, in my opinion, based on all the information that I have, is that you're going to save at least a half a point or 1% on that loan. Now, some people, a lot of financial advisors say, hey, if you're not going to save 2% on your loan, don't refi. That really is going to come through unless you have a loan that's kind of like 6 or 7%, right? And you're fixing your credit. Now, anytime you're thinking about refining, I hope your credit score is over 720, because if it is not, it's not going to be profitable as you think to refi your mortgage. You have to have that credit score that's 720 or better to get some of the top rates in the nation. Do you understand that some of the top rates in the nation right now are 2.25 and 2.5%? Now, currently, I wanted to show you guys this very, very quickly, okay? I wanted to show you mine without giving too much information away about my home. But this is my current interest rate right there. If anybody can see that, 3.25, okay? 3.25 is my current interest rate on my loan. Right before I bought my home, the interest rates were around 4.2 something, but Corona hit and then it went down some, okay? But right now, the current interest rates around the nation are 2.5% to 2.25%. So if this is going to save you a 0.5% or better, this is probably a good time for you to refi. Now, there's many reasons to refi. Now, I know that COVID-19 has put a lot of people in financial difficulties. Now, this information is coming from Nerd Wallet, okay? As a matter of fact, 17% of U.S. homeowners with a mortgage on their primary residency have already financed in 2020, according to a September Nerd Wallet survey conducted online by the Harris poll among about 1,400 U.S. homeowners, and nearly 1/3 of homeowners with a mortgage on their primary residence say they're considering refinancing within the next 12 months, according to the survey. All right. That is the percentage. Yeah, I talked to a buddy of mine last night as well about refining, and that we was more so talking about the stipulations with the VA loan when the refi. But if you're saving at least 1%, that's kind of like my rule. When it's a 0.5%, you have to really dig into the details of your numbers. Don't just be refine or refine, because this can cost you so much money over time. I know a lot of people get into trouble when they're refining. If you're not looking to save 1% to 2%, okay, and my bare minimum for me to refi is 0.75%. Okay, that's 75% of one, but 0.75% reduction in my loan interest. See, a lot of you go into this, you're like, well, how much my payment's going to be? I keep telling people over and over again, the details are in the percentages and not in the whole dollar amount. Because if someone says, well, right now you're paying $2,000 a month for your mortgage. Well, if you refi, you'll be paying $1,800. But you have to ask the question, well, how much is that going to cost me inside of my loan? Because most homeowners don't want to come out of pocket when they refi. So what do? They roll up the closing costs inside the loan, which if it's $6,000, now that loan, take for instance mine, say $390,000, now it's $396,000, and you're paying interest on that $396,000. So you have to figure out what they call the break-even point. The break-even point, you have to figure that out. You have to figure out what the break-even point is. If not, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, reducing your interest rate not only helps you save money when you do this, but it also increases the rate at which you build equity in your home. It can actually help increase the equity in your home, okay? For example, if you have a 30-year fixed mortgage with an interest rate of 5.5%, that's a 30-year fixed mortgage with 5.5% on a $100,000 home, and it has a principal and interest payment of $568. So that's how much you're paying, $568 a month. That same loan at 4.1 reduces your payment to only $477. So roughly it's about 90 something dollars. Okay, so that's pretty good savings for most people. Okay, that's pretty good savings for most people, but not for all people. So you really have to look into the details for a 30-year fixed mortgage on a $100,000 home. Refinancing from 9% to 5.5% can cut the term to half in 15 years with a slight change in the monthly payment from $805 to only $817. Hopefully I'm not speaking over your head. This is important information because a lot of people don't understand the stipulation when it comes to this. Now let's look at some other details. Let's break this down, quite frankly, to give you a little more context of what I'm talking about. So let's take, for instance, you have a mortgage calculator. In NerdWallet, you can do one at Bankrate. So total mortgage interest, that's the one I always look at. But you guys may want to look at the monthly payments. But let's go over both of them. Total monthly interest, okay? Location, let's go Dallas, Texas. Let's do Dallas, Texas, okay? You guys have any suggestions? Due amount for $390,000 for 30 years. Interest rate at 3.25, 2020, okay? Let's hit this. Let's see the rates. I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's going to tell me. All right, let me change this right here. Compare today's refinance for good credit in. Okay. Now it give me all these particular options of dropping my APR down to 2.775, and look at my monthly payments. Look at my monthly payments. This is phenomenal, okay? So let me go back. Let me refresh this. Let me see what it's going to do for me. We want real numbers because this is going to help you guys understand the savings. So it says right here, use your refinance to save $25,000. And that's including even rolling up that amount inside of your closing costs. Okay. So let's change this to monthly payments. It's going to save me $207 a month. $207 a month. It says that my current is around $1,700, and then it's going to be around $1,500. So, I mean, that's really good savings when you really look about it, because here's the thing. What I would do personally is still pay an extra $100 to kill the principal, okay? Because the principal is what make your loans a lot longer than what they really are. Now, let me show you some other information. Now, here's some of my information up here, and look at the current rate. Now, look at my credit score. So if your credit score is not over 720, then you're going to really have to shop around or wait and repair your credit score. I know a lot of people have been requesting my credit letters, and I'm going to make sure I send those out tonight. So if anybody want those credit letters, check in the description below and look at that email so you can start repaying your credit so you can get some of these great rates and save a lot of money on your mortgage. Believe me, a lot of money. And here's some of the other reasons why people refinance. They take out a cash equity on their home. They take that money out, and then they do home improvements to increase the property value. So whenever you get your house inspected and appraised and this, that, and the other, it's going to raise a property value so you can get more out of your home. So a lot of times people will tell you, put your money back in what? Your kitchen and your bathroom, because it's going to almost double your money. So that's pretty good, okay? So let's get in some of these things. I'm going to break this down to you. So the mortgage type is refinance. Here's my zip code. Here's my current property value. Here's my loan amount. 7+ credit score, that was the highest one. So again, if I did 720, I'll just do 720, 30-year fix. All right, so let's look at this. Right now, dealing with these particular companies, and look, I don't advise people to get into ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. That's what ARM mean, adjustable rate mortgages. I mostly tell people get into fixed. You want a fixed loan, okay? Now, some people are doing some strategies out there, and those are experts. I don't really tell them or give them advice because they kind of know what they're doing when they're messing with these ARMs. They know that they're only going to be in a home 2 to 3 years, and that's how long the ARM actually lasts. And ARMs can really give you some really, really low rates. But if you're just a typical guy or girl and you're just, living in your home, you don't want to mess with ARMs, okay? But look at these rates right here. 2.4%, okay? 2.3, 2.7%. And look at the monthly payments, $1,500. Upfront cost, $2,000. But again, you can roll that back into your mortgage. But again, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful when you're rolling the closing costs back into the loan, because if it takes you years to make your break-even point, meaning you're going to be paying interest of the amount of money that you rolled back up into your loan because you didn't want to come out of pocket for your closing costs. That's important because you're going to pay interest on it. And if it's not within the first 6 months that you're going to pay it off, then ladies and gentlemen, either one or two things. You want to pay that closing cost out of pocket, or you want to look for a better deal. Because believe it or not, closing costs, depending on the size of the loan, could be anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000. If you roll that back up inside of your loan, you're going to be paying interest. Because again, when you refinance, it's an entire new loan. It's kind of like say, hey, if you come and deal business with us, we're going to give you a better rate. But essentially, you're just getting another loan. The loan is the same 30 years. So take, for instance, and here's another thing. If you're 10 years away from buying your home, don't refinance. Don't refinance. And if you do refinance, make sure that you refinance on your terms. Don't you know, I know people who have 15 years left on their mortgage and they refi because of the rate and or the amount of savings into a 30-year fixed. And what that could do is that's definitely going to free up a lot of cash, especially if you're hurting, but it's not a good financial decision. It's not a good financial decision. All right, let's move along. Now, Bankrate has a really good website to show you guys finding the best mortgage rates by your state. Okay, find the best mortgage rates by your state. So let's find somewhere popular. I think Florida's a popular state. Okay, Florida's a popular state. And right now, look at the interest rate of Florida right now. Look at the interest rate of Florida right now. Now, of course, if you guys want some information that's detailed to you, just type in the chat. And I'm also going to leave a link in the chat in case you guys have any questions. I want to make sure I give you the opportunity this evening. So if you have any questions, there's a link in the chat that you guys can click on either with or without your video. Now, we see these rates. Here it is in Florida with a zip code of 32301, property value 340, loan amount $272,000. Now, the upfront cost for this loan is $5,444, but your monthly payment is only $1,000 with your APR at 2.5, and your rate is at 2.3. That's just a grape drink, fermented. Okay. So we have all these particular loan interest people who are willing to give you this refi loan, but how much it's going to cost you. And see, what I like about Bankrate as well is telling you, look at this right here. 0 points, they're going to give you 2.8. But again, if your loan is at 3.25, we have to look at the percentage that you'll be saving. I don't advise you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not going to save at least bare minimum 0.5% on your refi, don't do it. Take, for instance, if your loan is 4%, if your interest rate on your loan is 4%, and the interest rate they come down to 3.75%, don't make that deal. It's not worth it. You're going to be paying more over the course of time than you was. You're going to have a lower interest rate, but because of the closing costs and all the administrative fees that you have to pay, because again, refinance is operated. The procedures are just like you buying a new home already. You're buying your home all over again. So all those same costs you'll be paying out of pocket, or you roll into the loan and you'll be paying more because now your loan is even more than what it was before. So you have to be smart about this, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be very, very intelligent about some of this. And as I said before, now there's primarily 4 reasons why you don't want to refinance. A longer break-even period, okay? And I talked about break-even periods before when I'm referring to when you roll in that closing cost inside your loan because you don't want to come out of pocket, right? So closing costs at $3,000, $50 equals 60. So for this instance, it will take you 60 months or 5 years to reach your break-even point. To reach your break-even point, it will take you 5 years or 60 months. That's not a good deal. That's not a good deal because that whole entire time you're paying on an interest in order to get that lower rate. And that's not a good cost because I know a lot of people, they just go in and they say, you know what, I'm going to refinance my loan. And then the percentage with the refi is not lucrative to the overall savings and the cost of the loan. And then primarily, if your break-even point is past 6 months to a year, it's not a good deal in my opinion. It's not a good deal in my opinion because that whole entire 6 months to a year, you're still paying off the principal, okay? You're still paying off the interest of the loan versus the loan amount. And that's very important to know, okay? That's very important to know. But let me give you some other information I believe that's going to help you to better understand what I'm talking about, okay? Because I'm looking at the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that Donald Trump did. That wasn't a good thing for nobody but the filthy rich. But we did see the reason why I don't advise people to go into arms, because arms are absolutely horrendous for people who do not know what they're doing. They're not doing what they're doing now. Somebody said they want me to do Delaware. I think I'll hook up Delaware really quickly. Give me a second. Somebody wanted Delaware. Give me a second. All right. Delaware is small. Where's Delaware at? It's up in here somewhere. Delaware. I thought Delaware was right around, it's in New England, right? Where is Delaware? There it is, right above Maryland. I should have known that. So right now, Delaware, again, this is based off a 740 credit score, but I'm going to go with 720. I'm going to go over 720. Right now, Delaware is around 2.4. We're just going to round it to 2.5. So Delaware, 2.5 interest rate. Okay, this depends on what deal you go with. Because some of these got points, and then how much it's going to cost you over 5 years. So let's just go with 2.5. Let's go with this number right here as a median price, as a median interest rate. So that's what Delaware is looking at, okay? That is what Delaware is looking at. So if you have a loan that's 4%, if you have a loan that's 5%, it's profitable for you to go into Delaware and refinance your loan if you live in Delaware. Now, let's talk about when you're refinancing and converting an ARM, which is an adjustable rate mortgage, or a fixed rate mortgage, okay? Because while ARMs are often, ARMs often offer lower interest rates than fixed rate mortgages. Periodically, adjustments can result in rate increases, okay, that are higher than the rate available through a fixed rate mortgage. What does that mean? What that means is this, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to dangle an arm in front of you. They say, hey, do you want an adjustable rate mortgage or a fixed mortgage? You say, well, the adjustable rate mortgage is only 1.3%, and the fixed rate mortgage is 3%. Why would I want to go with that? Oh, well, sir, you know, the adjustable rate mortgage is going to, it can adjust at any time after a year. See, there's these certain terms in these contracts that if you get into an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, no longer than 2 years, most likely, but most likely 1 year, that rate will stay the same. You only pay 1.3, 1.5% on your loan. But after that adjustment period, and the reason why I say after that adjustment period, because 9 times out of 10, after that year, your interest rate will adjust. And it adjusts at a very, very high rate. We're not talking about, oh, it's going to adjust from 1.5 to 2%. No, these loans adjust anywhere from 1 to 4%. So if you got a 1.5, look for it to adjust to a 4.5. It's going to be a significant increase in your monthly payments. That's why I always tell people, even in investing, anything you do, car buying, house buying, car refinancing, all the details are in the percentages that you negotiate and deal with. This is very important. We got somebody called, hey there. She says, I'm going to have this conversation in about 2 years. I have no idea how mortgage works. Well, hey there. I know that you're on Periscope. Go over to YouTube and look at my channel, Financial Literacy 101. And at any time, I have my email and information in my description for me to help you to walk you through that process. And most of my services, believe it or not, are free. If you are in a financial situation where you need a coach or a mentor like myself, then those services do cost at a price. But again, I'm very nominal. I'm very frugal when it comes to those particular things. So just head over to my YouTube channel and you can subscribe to that. And that way you can get this great information at all times. Okay. Because it's imperative that you guys understand this information because you can get yourself in trouble. Now, I know a lot of people, when we're looking at some of the reasons why you should not refinance. Now, again, let's go with the break even. I already went over the break even period. So if you missed that part, just rewind the tape. Okay, the break even point. Number 2, higher long-term costs. So once you've spoken to your bank or your mortgage lender, considering what refinancing will do to your bottom line. You can ask them that. They will compute it and break it down for you. We say, how will this affect my bottom line in the long run? Because refinancing to your lower monthly payment is great because everybody wants a lower monthly payment. And that's absolutely phenomenal. But that is great unless it puts a bigger dent in your pocket as time goes on, okay, over the long term. If it costs more to refinance, then it probably doesn't make sense. You're like, well, hold up. I'm going to end up paying this after 10 years. And that's very imperative for you guys to understand. Now, number 3, adjustable rate versus fixed rate. I kind of just went over there. I won't beat the dead horse on that one. I'll just move right to number 4. Okay, I move right to number 4. And the bottom line is this. Okay, the bottom line is this. Considering all the costs associated with closing, including the application fee, the underwriting fee, and the processing fee, if it's going to cost you more over the long term of the loan prior to the original loan that you already had, then it's not a good idea. You went into a longer loan for another 30 years simply to lower your monthly payments, but over the course of the loan, you're going to be paying more money. You're going to be paying more money. And what does that mean to you, right? What does that mean to you? Take, for instance, you had a 30-year mortgage. You had a 30-year mortgage, and over that 30-year mortgage, you were going to pay $400,000. And your monthly payments was $1,800. But you went into a refinance. Let's take, for instance, you use my bare minimum, which you should refinance as a 0.5%. Okay. Now, me personally, I'm not going to refinance my loan at a 0.5%. It's going to be 0.75% or more because I understand the numbers. But if someone would ask me about advice, I say, hey, listen, if you at 3.5 and they're going to reduce you down to 3, let me look over your financials. Let me look over the closing costs. Let me look over the underwriting fee, processing fee, application fee. And then if you were to round that into or roll that into your loan, what is your break-even point? Are you going to pay more over the course of the next 6 months to a year? Or are you going to break even and then your savings kick in? Then I say, okay, that's a good deal. Then I say it's a good deal. But anyway, if you go into this refi and you went from $1,800 to $1,600, you're like, oh man, I'm killing it. I save so much money. How big is your loan? How big is your new loan? Because when you refi, you're just getting a new loan. Some people use the word like, this is a refi mortgage. And sometimes it can be imperative. I know of people who became very profitable off of refining their home, not once, but twice. This is what they did. And it's quite simple. I know a lot of people who are real estate investors who have rental properties do this. They'll build up the equity in their home. They'll do a cash out refi from their home and go and buy a rental property. They'll build up the equity again in their home and also their rental property, do a cash out refi and buy more property. Now, I wouldn't advise that no more than twice. Okay, that's just a strategy. But the best time, in my opinion, to refi, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to save 0.75% to 1% or more on your loan reduction, and you can reach your break-even point from anywhere from 6 months to a year, respectively. And what all that saying is, if you don't pay your closing costs out of pocket, if you roll that into your loan, any money, think about this, any monies that you roll into your loan, you're going to be paying interest on at the new current rate. And some of you are saying, well, but the interest rate is smaller, but your loan is bigger. Thus, you're paying more money over the course of time. I love teaching this stuff, man. I really do. This stuff I never knew growing up in Southeast DC. I never knew this information growing up in Southeast DC. Oh, and this is this grape juice, guys. That's this grape drink, fermented grape drink. That's it's fermented grape drink. Ooh, that's sweet. But anyway, let's see what you guys are saying. I'm not ignoring you guys. Give me a second. Who we got? We got Les for CS. We got Miss One in the chat room. Miss One, I'm gonna send this link over your way. I want you to tell me about your rental property and how did you go about doing that, if you will. You can do it with your video, without your video, but I would love for you to join me and gives people some knowledge and some information here. I know you have your wealth of knowledge. I love when you join us live. So I put that link in the chat, Miss One. If you can go and click that and tell us, how did you come about your property, and did you use the cash out refi? Did you ever refinance your home? Give us some information so we can give these people some really good strategies and methods and information about how to go about their refinance of their mortgage. I don't know if she's still on or not. If she's still on, hopefully she clicks the link. She has a lot of good information sometimes. I love other perspectives. Okay. This is not a dictatorship on Financial Literacy 101. Okay. This is the real republic. This is not like, in America, and I'm getting off topic for 1 second. In America, people say this is the democracy. And I tell people, go read the Constitution. The Constitution says this is a republic. I'll leave it right there. All right. I think she's here. Let's see here. Let's see. Give me a second.
Hi, can you hear me?
All right. Yep, you're live. Go ahead.
Oh.
She's here. I think she's here.
Okay. I had my mute off. Okay.
So tell us the way that you went about buying your rental property. And did you ever refi one of your loans before?
Personally, no. I don't have a mortgage on any of my properties. However, I do work as a loan signing agent. So right now, refis are really hot. So I see the process. I have all the paperwork. I see other people that are getting it done. So yeah, I mean, you're definitely giving good information. If it's not that much of a difference interest rate wise, unless you have some other strategy where you just want to pull out the money, it probably wouldn't be worth the hassle of doing everything. But yeah, it's pretty, I think it's an excellent time to refi. Like I said, I see rates as low as 2.25%. Most of the things that I see come out are less than 3% right now.
Oh, definitely. The rates are, I think some of the lowest rate are 2.25%. Now, I want you to back up. You said a loan signing agent. Can you let people know what a loan signing agent is?
Okay, so basically I'm contracted by title companies and banks to go out. For example, Quicken Loans I'm a big partner with Quicken Loans. So, they can't be everywhere. So they just kind of send people out that are trained as a signing agent to go to the homes, and you help them with the closing. So you have all the paperwork for them to close. They sign off on it. You send it back and they process their loan.
So is that similar? Now I heard is that a branch off the mobile notary?
Yes, it is.
How lucrative is a loan signing agent?
Right now, very lucrative. Right now, seriously, right now, very lucrative. I just kind of got back into it. It's something I got my notary about a year ago, and then, the pandemic hit. And so that kind of changed a couple of business models that I had. And then I was a little concerned about the COVID. And I said, well, let me just jump back into the loan signing, because I gotten certified and everything earlier on this year. So I just kind of jumped in, and yeah, I'm just shocked. There's so many people making $10,000 to $15,000 a month part-time.
Let me ask you this then, because I supposed to finish my course today. I'm actually I'm doing the mobile notary thing. I should be finished. Right. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. But then someone, I was reading that, something that's more lucrative is basically like a loan signing agent, but it's not kind of a branch off from a notary sense. And they say that people are making anywhere from $24,000 to $37,000 a year just becoming a loan signing agent. How long is the process, and how much does it cost for the course?
There's not. Okay, well, let me tell you what I would recommend. So I already kind of had my own little small home office. So it just depends on where you're starting out with. I mean, I'm a general notary, so I get phone calls. People can come to my home and I can do that. But if you're going to be a loan signing agent, you're going to be going to their location. So that requires you to have a good laser printer, preferably a dual tray, something that you can print your legal and your letter size paperwork on. Like for me, I mainly work for Amrock, which is a subsidiary of Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. So they have a thing called hybrid signing. So that's even better because I don't have to print out 100 and 200 sheets, every time I close. It just depends on what company I'm closing for.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
prefer them because it's a lot more efficient, but I still have to do my driving. I still have to drop off. And I'm doing this first because I already have a few people under me that's just started. And I already have my you already know me. I'm a business person. I have my LLC and everything. So I'm looking at maybe I can eventually turn this into a signing agency myself. But I kind of want to get out there, learn the ropes so I could properly train other people. But training is good, but it's not mandatory because especially if you start off with SnapDocs and some of the companies that they use, even Coast to Coast, which they're a extreme low baller, but they're really good at telling you what needs to be done. But for the most part, it's the same documents. You just need to know, they just need to know where to sign and where to initial.
What was the name of that one you just said?
Oh, SnapDocs. Once you get your NNA certification, your signing agent certification, yeah, you just sign up. There's probably hundreds of signing agencies. But of course, the best thing you want to do is get the direct business. Like I actually had a title company. I stayed all day in their office because they were pretty busy. People are trying to get everything done before the end of the year. So if you can get direct business, that's going to be your best business because you don't have to split it with the middleman.
I understand. And you're saying, I know there's a course because in the state of Texas to become a notary, which is weird, right? You just kind of qualify. There's no exam you need to pass, but I'm taking the course. I'm actually taking the course.
Yeah, my state, I didn't have to take an exam. Yeah, my state.
I'm not going to jail.
Okay, my state, I didn't have a exam either, but the NNA has a book. I was just looking at it. I think it's called, okay, I have it right here. It's called the U.S. Notary Primer. And they might even have a sale right now, this week. But it kind of goes over the different.
I saw some documentations about that because I say, after I get this mobile notary, this mobile notary isn't nothing, but I believe this is the first step into doing the loan signing agent piece.
Okay, and go and don't be afraid because the loan signing agent, the actual test is only on the code of conduct of a notary. It doesn't have anything to do with loans. So literally, there's nothing wrong with you printing out the paperwork. It's not cheating, and you could just take the test. You literally could take the test tonight and pass. It's not hard.
How much is it?
You have to get your background check and you have to take the test. I think it's $70, maybe plus tax or whatever. If you decide not to get,
No, I'm sorry. Is there like a local site or national site?
That is the national site. So that's kind of the site that everybody, the NNA loan signing certification is what everybody looks at. That's what they look for.
NNA?
National Notary Association.
Got it.
.org.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this now. When it comes to, refi, you say, have you ever refi period?
Me personally, no.
Okay. Now, based upon the information I was given, what do you think? Because I know you're in that world. What is your suggestion on a good time for people to refi?
Now. Now. While the rates are low. I mean, I like the idea of the cash out refi, but I do agree with you that I don't think it should be something that you do too many times because from my understanding, talking to people that were kind of deep off into the real estate thing back in the 2008, 2009 era, they claim that's what crashed the market. Too many people were just pulling the money and then they could not afford to pay it back once everything kind of, they were over leveraged.
Wow. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, thank you for letting me pick in your brain and giving me some good information. I do appreciate your time.
Anytime. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I'm done for this evening. Hopefully, you guys got some great information that you can take and use. And again, I've been talking to a lot of people. They've been asking me, is now a good time to refi? And I told them absolutely. Now, granted, if your loan, again, this is my opinion. If your loan is, I don't know, let's say 2.5 and you want to refi to 2.25, it's not going to be worth it. Just stay where you are. It's not going to be worth it. But someone like me, and I showed you guys this, my current rate on my loan right there is 3.25%. Okay? 3.25%. Come February, March, I'm refining, goddammit. I'm not paying all this money for this home. Hopefully, Joe Biden don't do something to make the rates go up after his inauguration. Anyway, this is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful night. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30, 9:30 Central for your stock review. I'm out.